We welcome you to Chicagoland Speedway, where tonight we will crown a new champion for the Jawb Racing League. Season 9 comes to a close. Tonight's event, I believe this race is sponsored by a driver. Indeed it is. This race is the Luke Nupp is GOAT. Jawb Racing League Championship 250. I'm Dawson Allen. As always, joining me in the booth for the Jawb Racing League is Josh Coppernoll. Josh, welcome to the booth.
Hey Dawson, it's been a great season. We've had here on JCTV. Sad to see it coming to a close, but I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to seeing who we're going to crown as the champion tonight. The 4 drivers we have racing for the championship. They all have definitely earned their place here tonight. And I think it's going to be a great battle between the 4 of them.
Yeah, and you say a great battle between the 4 of them, not to mention it is 4 new drivers in the championship scene. We're going to take a look and see how our championship 4 drivers are currently shaking out. Tonight we're going to have something special, something that has never been seen before on JCTV. We will have driver cameras. That's right, we'll be following our 4 championship contenders. Ben Lacey up there in the top left, Dalton Kilroe right there in the top right. There's Brian Dees down there in the lower left-hand side of your screen, and Bridger Olson, of course, down on the bottom right. All 4 drivers have a camera ready to go, ready to race tonight, so we'll keep our eyes on them as this race goes on and get to see their reactions to what unfolds here tonight. Very, very cool indeed to have, but they're not the only guys racing. There's still plenty of other drivers that are going to be out here on track tonight, so let's take a look and see how things are shaking out in practice so far. It looks like right now Bridger Olson is fastest on track. So leading the championship 4. Ben Lacey is right behind him, second fastest. And then there's Zachary Wareham is third fastest. He is not a playoff driver. And then there's Noah Maori, of course, in 4th. The big story for Maori, he is making his 150th start here in the Jawb Racing League. So he has a special scheme for tonight if it ever does show up here. Looks like he has left the track for now, but when he does return, we'll be able to showcase that to you. But right now, looking to see who else is on track. Robert Lukens is 6th fastest. Luke Nupp, of course, the namesake for tonight's race, is currently scored 5th fastest. But while we got some downtime here, what do you say we reach out and talk to one of our Championship 4 drivers? Let's see first if we can get a hold of Ben Lacey.
Sounds like a great idea to me.
Hey, Ben Lacey, this is Dawson and Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Alrighty, well tonight you race for your first championship. Probably a little stressful here tonight going into it, but you currently sit, I believe, I would say, as the championship favorite. How much does that put on you to come out here and perform tonight?
Oh man, I mean honestly, I'm just gonna come out, continue to try to do what I've been doing. Just go out, have some fun, and let it be what it is. I can only control what I can control. Can't control what everyone else does, so just got to go and run my race and stay out of trouble.
Yep, and currently right now sitting second fastest, only slower than Bridger Olson. Do you think it's going to be a battle between the 2 of you? Do you think everybody's going to have their mix in the front, or what are you looking forward to tonight?
You know, it's just going to be a fun overall. You know, everybody that's in the top 4 or championship 4, they're all competitive with each other. You know, obviously Dalton, he's proven he can win. Bridger's proven he can win. Brian's got to win. So I mean, everybody's got W's on the year. You know, you can't take either of them lightly, and you know, and you got some other dark horses out here too that could pull it out as well. So may come down to be whoever wins this race gets it, but we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, we'll let you get back to practice here. Best of luck tonight.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
And that was Ben Lacey, driver of the number 7. Looking for his first career championship tonight. Be interested to see how he can pull off tonight, but he has been phenomenal this season, let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely he has. His first couple of wins on the season, they were both kind of great come from behind wins because Phoenix, he was running up front very early on, had a spin, worked his way all the way up to the front, won that race. Same thing at Watkins Glen. And, you know, if you could do that at Watkins Glen, or a road course in general, that is pretty impressive. And the fact that he was able to do that twice, having a spin and win, that's just incredible. And then he was finally able to, you know, collect a couple more wins with no issues. I think you're right. Ben Lacey really is probably the favorite to win the championship tonight.
Well, what do you say we look on the opposite end of the spectrum right now? Currently, the slowest of our drivers that are on track. Let's see if we can get a hold of Dalton Kilrow in the 41.
Hey Dalton, this boy is up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alright, so you enter this race as the second seed. It's only your 18th start. First season here in this Sled Job Racing League. What do you think it's going to take to get that trophy?
Well, it's gonna quite obviously it's gonna take having some pretty good speed. This track is one of my favorites. As I have somebody wreck in front of me. Oh, that's Bridger. No, it's gonna take some pretty good speed. Consistent long run ability is gonna be important. I know for quite a few races this season I haven't had the long run speed the first stint, but then it shows up on the second stint. So I know my game plan is going to be trying to get out of the dirty air as quickly as possible, whether it's you know, getting through the field and getting up to the front where the clean air is, or just dropping back and kind of taking it easy and just kind of letting everybody come back to me once their tires wear off. So we'll just kind of have to see how the race starts. Hopefully I can get a decent qualifying position here, and who knows, maybe I can get up there and fight for one instead of having one handed to me.
So what is winning this championship going to mean to you after all that you have been through over the last you know, several months?
It's gonna mean quite a bit. I don't know how much you guys have touched on it, but ever since the surgery, things have not been going too well for me outside of racing. You know, being out of work for 4 months was not really something I would have anticipated. But it's really just like an affirmation that I can still do stuff, even though I'm still recovering. I just gives me a reason to keep grinding and keep trying to get back to 100%, so that way I can potentially even try to do this stuff in a real car in the future. It's what I love to do, but I know the opportunity is very, very slim. We'll have to see.
All right, we'll let you get back out there practicing, and I'm sure we'll talk to you in a little while.
Of course.
And that was Dalton Kilrow.
Of course, mentioned Kilrow having his struggles there in his real life with the surgery and everything. Past couple months haven't been the best for him, but man, does he not show it when he races. But we're hoping him the best of luck in his recoveries as well, along with his best of luck tonight in this championship hunt. But so with that, we look now to the driver that is currently gridded first, sitting up top of this practice session. You see him right behind at 41 of Dalton Kilrow. Let's see if we can get a word in with Bridger Olson. Hey, Bridger Olson, this is Dawson out up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Alrighty, well tonight you come into this race as another driver that is up there in the top of the championship favorites list. Currently fastest in practice as well. Does that maybe give you any momentum shift heading into tonight's race?
I mean, this is one of the tracks that I probably have the most experience at, and I feel like I'm pretty fast here, so I feel like I do have a pretty good opportunity. But also, I know I'm gonna have a lot of competition, so it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, heading into tonight, Ben Lacey, I would say, is probably the top championship favorite driver, but you've definitely made a statement. You've made a case for yourself being there. You made it to the championship 4 after Atlanta, after a bit of a hectic finish. Now, how does that help you moving into this race, trying to focus and get ready to go at it tonight?
Yeah, I just, uh, I was kind of scared after that Atlanta finish, but, it ended up not really being a big deal. So, I feel like I have good teammates to be surrounded by. Um, I feel like they're they're good people to help me win. Uh, and yeah, feel pretty confident.
Well, alrighty, we'll let you get back to practicing. Best of luck out there tonight.
Thank you.
And that is Bridger Olson, the driver of the 02 machine, looking to win a championship here tonight. And Josh, I believe you have our final championship 4 contender, the driver of the 17, Brian Deeds.
Indeed, I do. Brian, you got a copy?
I do.
All right, hey Brian, this could very well be a redemption race for you. Last season, you made the Final Four and you finished P2 after a heartbreak. What is it going to mean to you tonight if you're able to get it done?
Just like you said, redemption. That's pretty much what's been on my mind all week since I found out officially last week that I made it. Just looking back at last season, the way it ended, kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Not gonna lie. You know, I was second best that race. It is what it is, but definitely looking to improve and bump up one spot this season.
So Chicagoland, it is a track that real NASCAR doesn't go to anymore, and so I don't think it comes around on the sim too much. So how are you feeling about Chicagoland being the final race here for this championship race?
I like it. It's a little bit unique, but at the same time it is, kind of the cookie cutter mile and a half. But I think personally, I feel like I'm the best, or I'm at my best personally, I should say, at the mile and a halves. I'm not much of a short track guy. Super speedways obviously are a bit of a crapshoot, but like I said, kind of the mile and a halves are where I feel the most comfortable. So happy to see it here. I've been putting in some practice this week, hoping that I got it figured out. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, we wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure we'll talk to you later on tonight.
I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully we put on a good show for JCTV here tonight.
And that was Brian Deeds, driver of the number 17, fourth seed, entering this championship race. Dawson?
Yeah, so we've got all 4 of our drivers ready to go. Of course, we showed all those cameras ready there. And Josh, I believe we have a pit reporter for tonight's race, do we not?
We do. Jonathan Canfield. He is someone that races with these guys from time to time, and wanted to come in here, help us out.
We'll see what he's got. Jonathan, what have you got here heading into tonight's race? A very important race for 4 drivers here.
All right, and just going down with the teams tonight, guys. I appreciate you bringing me on again, but I have gone around and talked to each team that has a championship driver here tonight. We'll start off with the GGA camp. They are overall just looking for some good results, and they're going to be cheering on Ben. Going down to the MFRD guys, obviously they've got 2 drivers here tonight in this Final 4, and it says both playoff drivers want a chance and no mistakes. And they're expecting a dogfight. And they also said they are going to work together, but everyone knows that working together only goes so far. And they're going to work together until it's time to go for a win. And they, in quotation, said to me, gloves come off when it's about 30 laps to go. Next Racing, which is Bridger Olson's team, they let me know that they are looking for the best results possible for everybody on their team. They're going to work together on pit strategy and as a team overall throughout the race and do all they can do for Bridger without causing any issues for any other playoff drivers or other drivers on the track.
Alrighty, John, we thank you for that pit road update here presented by Joseph Strictly Stats.com, yada, yada, yada. You get the drill. We'll be checking back with him and Jonathan later on tonight throughout the race to see what the teams are thinking and how things are going. So he will be serving as our pit reporter for tonight. And so with that, Josh, we've got about just under 4 minutes here left in practice. Right now, Olson and Lacey, the top 2 on the board. Your other championship drivers, Brian Dees is down in 15th, and it looks like Kilroe is at the 14th, so 14th and 15th for Kilroe and Dees, but Olson and Lacey, the top 2 fastest here in practice. What are you looking for tonight, Josh?
Well, I'm looking for the championship 4 drivers to show their best tonight. This is, I mean, their last opportunity, and it's the way this format is, they can't have a bad race and rely on it next week. There is no next week. This is it. So I expect all 4 drivers to show their best hand and be running next to each other all night long.
Yeah, it'll be a tight race. I think at the start of the race, they'll be a little more spread out. They won't be as close with each other. You might see 2 of them together side by side, but after that, it'll build up to more of a longer run where we'll start to see them maybe spread out more, maybe even come together, some of these guys, as they battle with different strategies as this race goes on. It's very interesting always to follow championship races like this because you never know how things are going to play out, who's going to go for what strategy. So there's a lot of different calls you can make, but with it being Chicagoland, you can really throw a wrench in the plan for some of these drivers. It's such a unique track. It's so different compared to other mile-and-a-half tracks that we have on the schedule, to where you can make multiple grooves work. So I'm very excited to see how this plays out tonight. So we'll have to see. But tonight should prove to be fun. And like you said, you know, all 4 drivers have come into this race. They are even on points. Is this a winner-take-all situation, or is this just a best race from whoever?
Yeah, I don't really think the winner of the race tonight is going to be one of those 4 drivers. I think we're going to see someone win this race that is has nothing to lose. Not a championship 4 driver.
Interesting call, Josh. Well, what do you say? We got about a minute 30 left. You say it's not going to be a playoff, guys, then who's your pick to win?
Well, I think Zachary Wareham is going to win the race tonight. Early in the season, he really had speed. Not so much towards the middle of the season, but I think Wareham, he's really going to show what he has tonight, get the win, and you know, have some momentum going into next season.
If you're going for a non-playoff guy, I think I'm going to go for a non-playoff guy too, so you're not alone. I see a guy up here now that is currently 5th fastest after just joining the session not too long ago. He is hungry for a win. He is starving for a win. I think we'll see that JCTV machine of Alonso Chicano wind up in victory lane here today. He has had just an awful stretch of races the past few races, no matter where he's ran. But I think this will be the week that snaps for him, and he finally gets it and breaks through and is able to find victory lane again. So we've got 20 seconds left in practice. See Bridger Olson trying to get that last bit of practice and getting onto pit road that he can. Ends up spinning it onto pit road. Don't want to do that in the race. Would rather just do that in the practice. But with 9 seconds left, it's about time to start qualifying. So it looks like Olson, Lacey, Wareham, Maori, Chicano are going to be your top 5 in practice. Parker, Nupp, Lukens, Paulson, and McGill round out the top 10. So we'll get ready for this qualifying session here. Looks like we've got maybe 21 cars ready to go tonight, ready to get out there and get after it. So let's see who can put it on the pole for this race here tonight. See Zachary Wareham rolling off a pit road. I believe Dalton Kilrow is getting up to speed as well as Robert Lukens. Derek Paulson has hit the track and is getting ready to hit the grid as well. But Wareham was first out on track. Let's see if we can hunt down at 41 of Dalton Kilrow. He is our first playoff driver, currently out on track. So as we start to see drivers getting ready to get their first laps underway, Wareham is going to be the first driver to set a lap time down period as he's currently hitting the Beck straight now. But we are following the 41 of Dalton Kilrow, our Championship 4 contender, the first one out on track, turning a lap. Looks like Bridger Olson is currently out as well, turning a lap. I see the 34 Michael Thorpe Jr. is out there. He is currently on track, setting a lap time as well. So Wareham's first lap, he's going to go for a 30.843. That'll put him to the top of the boards for this first lap, I believe. Actually, no, invalidated. Looks like he might have gotten an incident point, so that'll put him behind the 8 ball. So we'll see Dalton Kilrow jump to the top with a 31.225. Robert Lukens second fastest as we see Mike Thorpe Jr. And looks like the number 02 of Bridger Olson cross the stripe. Thorpe will go to the pole. There goes Olson and Dees now, the top 2. So as Kilrow looks to complete his second lap right now, Olson sits as the proverbial pole sitter. Wareham takes the spot back on his second lap. As we see Kilrow cross the stripe, he will come across and put it on the pole with a 30.815. Bridger Olson rounding 3 and 4 for his second lap. Looks like he is going to come across the stripe this time by. It's going to be a 30.843. Not good enough for the pole. That will actually tie him for that third, now 4th spot. As we see Ryan Dees, a 30.799, the fastest on track right now of the Championship 4. As you see Ben Lacey, though, is on his second lap, currently trying to go for the pole.
Qualifying for these final 4 are a lot tighter than I kind of expected, at least for the 3 drivers. Right now we'll see where Ben Lacey has, and P4 for Ben Lacey.
Yeah, 4th for Ben Lacey. Derek Paulson has taken the pole away. We're looking to see if we can see him here. There's Noah Maori. Looks like he is rolling off of pit road, and we mentioned it earlier, his 150th start here tonight in the Slide Jawb Racing League. That paint scheme he is running is a compilation of all of his schemes he has run before, or at the very least, a good amount of them. You see on the hood, that is Taz. You know, from the Looney Tunes, that is the hood of that car, of course. That's a nod to that Dale Earnhardt Jr. scheme that he ran, the Taz truck that he drove. He's got a nod to the V-Speed MLB All-Star Game throwback that he ran a couple seasons ago as well. A lot of Dale Jr. inspired schemes all coming together to make this one beautiful scheme here tonight. Mary's.
And another thing
Go ahead, Josh.
Another thing to note about Noah Mary is his championship reign will be coming to an end tonight. He is the reigning champion, of course, not in the Final Four tonight, but currently P12 in his first lap at qualifying.
Yeah, the defending series champion. I think he's also the only multi-time champion in the league. So he will not be defending it tonight. He did not advance after Atlanta to move on to the fight for this championship again. But he looks to go out on a high note here to end season 9. This time by a 30.8 flat. 30.817 actually puts him 4th fastest on the board. So 4th place is going to be where Noah Mary starts. Jonathan Parker, I believe, is the last car on track setting any more laps. He is coming to complete his 2nd lap with the timer coming down to an end. He'll get a 30.812. That'll put him up to the 3rd position. No, actually the 5th position. 30.829 was the time at the board. So 5th place for Jonathan Parker, rounding out our qualifying for the field. And so with that, we get ready to go. As the field is getting ready to grid, what do you say we take a look at your starting lineup here, presented by JCTV. Derek Paulson and Brian Dees make up row number 1. MFRD sweeping that front row. Then in row 2, it's Dalton Kilrow and Noah Maori. In row 3 is Jonathan Parker and Ben Lacey. Then in row 4, Zachary Wareham and Bridger Olson. And rounding out your top 10, it's Christopher Passenger and Robert Lukens. Josh?
Starting in row 6, Caleb Sheets is going to start on the inside. Gabe Cazola to his outside. Luke Knupp will start just behind with Michael Thorpe Jr. in 14th. Jackson Glenn Austin will start 15th. Alonzo Chicano 16th. That is going to be Dylan Parker in row 8. Caden Atkins to his outside. And Blaine Sparling and Ryan Bogey rounding out the top 20.
And of course, all by his lonesome, I should say, all the way back there, starting in row 11, it's Austin J. McGill. He is the 21st car on the grid, ready to rock here tonight. So we got 21 drivers ready to do battle for 167 laps at Chicagoland for the Luke Knupp is a GOAT Slide Job Racing League Championship 250. And I hope Luke takes a note of that, because that is the second and only other time I will be saying that phrase for this race. So he got his money worth it at the start of this broadcast, but that's going to be about it. So we've done our race picks. Who we think is going to win the race? Josh, who do you think walks home with the hardware and wins the championship tonight?
You know, I think the obvious pick is Ben Lacey, but I'm actually going to throw things around a little bit. The reason I'm going to go with Brian Dees is because he's been in this situation before. He had a heartbreak last season. He came up one spot short. You heard it in pre-race. He's ready. He's hungry. He wants this so bad, and I think that's going to motivate Brian Dees to get it done.
All right, well, you go with the 17 of Brian Dees. I am going the opposite. I'm going for one of the more obvious picks. I'm going to pick the guy that's starting at 8th today, Bridger Olson. I feel like he has shown enough speed throughout these past few weeks. Even though he hasn't been as flashy as maybe Lacey or others, I think he'll still be the one to get it done here tonight and to take the win and take the championship. So as the field cycles through 3 and 4 behind the pace car, like I said, 167 laps tonight. It's going to be all about being patient for some of these guys to make sure they don't get caught up in any incidents or get taken out of this championship before it's even settled. Derek Paulson, Brian Dees, your front row. Kilrow, Maori, Parker, the top 5 hit the Geico restart zone. The green flag is out. We're racing for the last time in Season 9 for the Slide Jawb Racing League. Side by side, heading into turn 3. Brian Dees trying to surge ahead and take the race lead from Paulson as they come off of 4. It's going to be Brian Dees is going to lead the first lap.
Don Kilrow has gotten right to the back bumper of Brian Dees, but not able to do anything with it. He looks to the inside, but Paulson is there.
So shuffling up ahead. See Paulson to the inside. Kilrow dropped to the bottom as well. Maori's right there in 4th, ready to capitalize on any mistake by any of these drivers. And I'm looking a little bit throughout the field here. I see Zachary Ware and Christopher Bassinger battling for 8th. But right now it's a side-by-side battle between the 41 and the 17, the teammates here. Side-by-side for the 2nd place position. You see Ben Lacey's up to 5th now, right there behind him as well. Maybe a little bit of tight room there between Kilrow and Dees, fighting for everything they got, trying to get there. Definitely fighting hard here, early goings, trying to get anywhere they can get, trying to get as much ground as they can get as this race has just started.
Oh man, coming out of turn 4, Bridger Olson got loose. I think he might have touched the apron, and his car started to shoot up the track. Noah Maori was out there. Luckily, they kept it. He kept it together and didn't get into Noah Maori, but just behind there, 3 wide.
3 wide, 4 wide even for a moment there. Everybody's fighting for every spot they can get. That's Wareham on the inside of Passenger. It's Michael Thorpe Jr., Luke Knupp, Jackson Glenn, Austin, Dylan Parker's in the mix too. Dylan Parker, of course, is a former series champion. And there you see Knupp gets the wall. Just about hit Thorpe. Thorpe and Knupp are dooring each other down the straightaway.
They're still trying to figure it out. Finally giving each other room.
Knupp in the wall again.
He's going to cut Thorpe off. I think that might have been showing a little bit of displeasure.
Yeah, definitely aggressive driving early by Luke Knupp, the title sponsor of the race. I don't think Thorpe would say he was a very GOAT move out of the 29 after that one, but he continues on to race. 13th right now is the 34, of course, eliminated from championship contention after that heartbreak at Atlanta. But right now, currently sitting 13th now under fire from Dylan Parker for the 14th spot. You see him and Knupp getting a little racy right ahead of him.
And meanwhile, we just had a pass for the lead. Kilrow got around Paulson, now is in control of this race. Once again, Kilrow will lead this lap. And right now, the championship 4 drivers are 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, with Derek Paulson in 2nd, not in the mix.
Yeah, Paulson 2nd, highest running non-playoff driver. Of course, the only one in the top 5 that's not in the playoffs. Currently scored 2nd. Definitely going to be a fight to get around him. He's not wanting to fight. He's wanting to fight for a championship. He's not really too concerned about helping anybody. He's wanting to fight for a win.
And Ben Lacey just got around Brian Dees. Now trying to get up to Paulson, past Paulson for 2nd position.
And he slowly climbed his way up here to the front here. And he had a decent lap, put about middle of the top 10. And right now he's fought up to 3rd. You see a lot of guys just struggling with a lot of passes. We've seen the 7 car make some moves. He's trying to peek on the inside of Paulson now. Paulson's going to run the top, Lacey to the bottom of the track. We'll see how this fans out. You see some guys up top, way back in the back. Dylan Parker just about running the wall in the background there. But you see the momentum he's able to carry right there on the back bumper of Wareham and Austin. As we follow this battle here for the top 3, right there, nose to tail pretty much, with Dees and Olsen also in tow. So everybody's battling for every spot they can get here.
Ryan Dees gotten to the back bumper of Ben Lacey. I think Dees wanted to go for a pass, but Lacey made a late apex. Dees had to back out of it.
Yeah, it's only lap 10. You got to be very, very cautious of saving your stuff. You don't want to burn it up too quick. If you do such a thing, you know, you're really looking at throwing your race away, throwing your championship away. And you know, Dees doesn't want to do that. As he heads in turns 1 and 2 again, gets right there on the back bumper at Lacey. Just can't quite make anything stick, as he's got to have to fend off Olsen as well. Right there in the background, ready to bounce.
And talking about, you know, not wanting to burn your stuff up, your tires, this league is a really clean league. I would not bank on a caution coming out at any point because of how these guys race. They're just so good. So you really cannot afford to have a bad run.
Yeah, there's no guarantees like in other leagues that we see here on the JCTV. You see a battle for second between Lacey and Paulson. I mean, you've really got to make your ground up early on in going through this race when the field is tight, because you don't know if you're going to get the field tightened up again. So you want to make as many moves as you can, as early on as you can, to really make charges to the front. And someone I see charging to the front here. How about the 3 of Dylan Parker? He is all the way up now to the 7th position. He has been making moves through the field here. Definitely a huge run for the front. Already up 10 spots from the start.
So a good run so far, indeed. Might be racing up here with these guys pretty quickly. Oh man, very tight between Lacey and Paulson. No contact, but that is going to kill Lacey's momentum. He's about to be 3 wide. Bridger Olsen thought better of it. Brian Dees now to the outside of Ben Lacey.
I'll tell you, Dalton Kilrow probably heard that call and was hoping, man, if they can all wreck it once here, they can wipe everybody else out and give him a smooth sailing shot to get to this championship. And look at Dylan Parker up here now. He's at the 6th. He is passing Gabe Cazzola. Now going to have his sights set on Bridger Olsen, Lacey, Dees, Paulson, and Kilrow.
I think he just sent it in the corner to get it around Cazzola. Tim Parker. He made a stick, though.
Unbelievable that move was at Parker. Just looked like he about got in the wall there. He about buried it in there, but he made it stick on that outside lane, and he made the pass on Cazzola. So move Parker to 6th, and he continues his climb forward. Now going to set his sights on Ben Lacey, who is currently scored in the 5th position.
Yeah, Lacey, of course, was passed by both Dees and Olsen. Lacey just trying to regroup. Get his car back under him, and now he's looking to make a pass on Olsen.
It looked like there was a car that might have been sideways or slow in turns 1 and 2. Couldn't tell. Someone might have got the apron, if anything. But someone looked kind of slow there on the back. Couldn't tell who it was. Right now we see Ben Lacey trying to hold off for 5th as Dylan Parker hard charging.
Top 6 is under a blanket, but oh, there's going to be a little bit of contact there between Dees and Olsen.
I was getting ready to say, I think Maori was the culprit of that slide there on the apron, maybe heading into turn 2. He looked awfully slow, and he's dropped a good amount of spots, but Olsen and Dees still racing tight with each other. Lacey still right here with them. And like I said, Kilrow's got that happening back behind him, and he is just hoping and praying that they can just all take each other out right now and settle it early. And Parker now going to make the move to the outside of his teammate Bridger Olsen. Going to try to make things stick. You see Dees running the top. Up front, the battle for the lead is tightened again. Paulson's right there. Lacey and Dees now side by side. And here comes Parker now into the mix. He is now up to 5th.
Parker's looking for more. Nowhere to go at the moment as Dees and Lacey still side by side off of 2.
I wouldn't be shocked if Dylan makes a move here, try to get both of them at the same time. He's to the outside of Ben Lacey, riding there to the outside lane in turns 3 and 4. He'll kind of drift out a little bit, see if he can try to make the move stick on Lacey and go for D's as well. He is definitely putting in the work. You see him cross over in front. He'll go to the bottom. He'll set his sights on D's for the 3rd position. But right now, it's Dalton Kilrow leading the field and leading the championship for Derek Paulson 2nd. Brian D's 3rd. So MFRD a 1, 2, 3 as they run right now with their 2 championship contenders running 1st and 3rd.
Parker sending it into 3 underneath Paulson. There might be 3 wide.
Parker got out of it, thought better of it. This is just phenomenal racing.
I mentioned at the top of the broadcast that I expected the 4 championship drivers to be racing hard. I didn't expect this, especially with a couple of non-contenders in the mix.
Yeah, you know, Derek Paulson starting on the pole, and it's been a thorn in the side of Kilrow, but also the thorn in the side of D's and everybody else behind him. They're trying to get around him to go battle for the lead with Kilrow, but he's also not really like losing time to Kilrow, so he's putting pressure on there. Look at the slide job that Parker puts on D's to get to 3rd. Oh my goodness, he just barely had enough clearance, and he put it right there, and he was able to secure the 3rd place position. Now looking to battle with Paulson for 2nd. With maybe hitting the wall right in front of D's.
D's had nowhere to go. Tried to check up, got into the back of Parker just a little bit. I don't think there's going to be really any damage, so I think D should be all right, other than losing a few positions here. But now that puts Ben Lacey in 3rd place, and D's all the way back to 6th.
Yeah, just an all-out battle here, a brawl between these drivers. So Parker getting loose again, getting tight in front of D's. D's had to take evasive action, and that 17 is just hoping to put Parker in his rearview mirror. As we see the double Parker tandem, Dylan and Jonathan now 6th and 7th. There is no relation between them. They just have the same last name, but they are currently sat 6th and 7th as we get ready to head into battle here for this championship 4. You can see right here, Dalton Kilrow leads the field, but they are all going to be fighting for this championship. There are still plenty of racing left here for this title. We're going to take you on a quick side-by-side break, but don't go anywhere. You won't miss a bit of the action.
As a Grand Prix world champion in triathletes, I know how important it is to stretch before any competition.
I also know it's important to stretch. Mobil 1's advanced technology lubricates our engines.
Yes, that is true.
And my joints.
Oh my word.
Soda cookies. Want one, Jensen?
Kyle Busch, welcome to Menards. What can I help you with today?
Well, I've got my shopping list right here. I need some green treated lumber. I need a brown Mastercraft door. I need red Clearview cabinets and some blue Dutch Boy paint.
Those are M&Ms.
And?
At Menards, we carry the world's best selection of home improvement products to help you complete your next project.
You've got more of these, right?
It's all gonna fit in your car?
I got a trunk.
Save big money at Menards.
Man, we're door to door. I have the better car, fresher tires. I drove it in deep, and you missed it. I know you wanted to watch it, but you got throttled by your data plan, and it slowed you down. You hit your data limit streaming all that techno music, didn't you? I mean, really? Man, you've got some questionable taste in music.
Switch to Sprint, the only network with truly unlimited data.
Ooh. Call Logano. Hey, Joey, you can save money if you fill up at Shell if you use Advanced Auto Parts Speed Perks. Dude, I'm way ahead of you. You saved at the pump? Yeah, I saved at the pump. The pump? The pump. He saved at the pump!
Now you can save at the pump when you shop at Advance Auto Parts. Learn more at advanceautoparts.com/gas rewards.
Now, it's my turn.
A broken heart, I can't help you. Rocket science, don't know what to tell you. I may not know how to get to the moon, but when I wanna fly, my crew knows what to do. Crank around the wheel in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how.
Practice went okay, but if it keeps pushing like that, what are you gonna do? Here we go.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola.
Can I get your autograph?
Yeah, sure.
I can't wait to show my grandson.
Come back from break under caution for the first time here tonight in the Slide Job Racing League Championship 250. Michael Thorpe Jr. and Luke Nutt, contact made, and around they went. We're going to get a look at this replay really quick for you here and show you what happened. It was a tight battle between this group of cars right here. And it looks like Chicano and Nutt made contact, and into the wall went Nutt. Sparling gets a bit of it as well. But Thorpe and Nutt getting the worst of it there. Luke Nutt nosing into the wall there. Not a good run for the sponsor of this race. Going to see if we can get a look on board Luke Nutt. This was exiting turn 4. Still 3 wide right there. Chicano is trying to force the issue really right there on that inside. But then coming up here through the tri-oval. Contact made, and around goes the 29. The 34 sucked into it as well as the 59 of Bladen Sparling. But Nutt has already disconnected from the session. He has gone. And so with that, we'll get back up to the front here. Dalton Kilrow leading. To see him coming down pit road, everybody's pitting this time. Everybody wants to be on pit road. And you see a stop, an issue for Dees. He missed his stall, missed his box. Gonna be a slow stop, might cost him time. You see Thorpe. Don't know what Thorpe's doing back in the background, but he's backing up. You see the fight off pit road. Kilrow's going to get off first. Olsen comes off second. Then it's Paulson, Lacey, Austin, Kazola, Parker, Dees, Parker, Atkins. That is the top 10 in the race off of pit road. So that gives the lead back to Kilrow, but Bridger Olsen getting off second there. Paulson third with that first stall, and Lacey off fourth. But how about that stop, fast stop by Jackson Glenn Austin? A great job getting on and off of pit road there. Was fastest on pit road, combining with the lane and the box. He was fastest by a good margin, so a really great stop by this 28 team to get up to 5th.
I want to go back and talk about Brian Dees and that stop he had, Dawson. Like you mentioned, he had to roll back because he went too far. And I think right now Brian Dees is actually pretty fortunate for where he's sitting at. He didn't lose a lot of positions. He lost a few, yes, but I kind of expected that would have put him in a bigger hole than what it did. Not where he wants to be by any means, but I think he's still in the top 10. He just has to take a deep breath, focus forward.
Oh, did Olsen get caught for speeding? Olsen is having a drop to the back. I saw that in the corner of my eyes. I noticed when I was looking through the driver feed that Brian Dees was laughing, but I don't think Bridger Olsen's got a smile on his face after that one.
Yeah, it does. That's just gotta hurt a lot for Bridger Olsen, but it's a lot of laps. I think he will be able to make his way back up towards the front. He may have to have a couple of lucky breaks, though.
It's going to be a long road to get back to the front. From second, now back to 18th is where he will be scored after that one there. So a mistake on pit road, I believe, that is, puts Bridger Olson back behind the 8-ball here as this race gets ready to keep rolling here. You see the field coming up, lining up double file, getting ready to go back green. So Dalton Kilrow first off pit road, Derek Paulson second, Lacey third. How about Jackson Glenn Austin fourth and Gabe Cazzola fifth? There's Dylan Parker in sixth, Brian Dees seventh, Jonathan Parker eighth, Kay Nackings ninth, and Alonzo Chicano running at the top 10. The other playoff driver that is back, Bridger Olson, is going to be scored 16th as it is right now. So he's going to have a bit of a climb to get back up into this one here. But he is definitely more than capable of making that happen. See Thorpe back in the background rolling up on the field. He had to get some damage repaired after that incident. Blaine Sparling the same, but not as bad as Thorpe got it. Thorpe is a lap down, Sparling on the lead lap still. So we'll have to see how that works out for him. But Caleb Sheets also 3 laps down. He and Thorpe the only two that are any kind of laps down on the field. The pace car is going to make the hard left-hand turn down pit road, leaving the field in the hands of Dalton Kilrow. He will launch to the Geico restart zone, and we are back green here in the Slide Job Racing League Championship 250.
Great restart by Kilrow. He did not waste any time to get going.
3 wide back here. Parker, and Dees. I think if there's a rivalry that brews out of this race, it's going to be Brian Dees and anybody with the last name Parker. I mean, he is in a battle with Dylan and Jonathan all so far. And you see that Punisher theme scheme. I have a feeling he probably doesn't like Peter Parker either. With that, it's going to cost him a little bit of time. You see McGill and Atkins now going to have him under fire. Currently scored 9th is Dees, but Dalton Kilrow continues to lead the field. Paulson is second. Jackson Glenn Austin is up to third as Lacey falls to fourth.
And Dylan Parker looking to get around Cazzola. He's going to send it into the corner. They're still going to be side by side. Cazzola has to go up the track a little bit, but he has a better run off the corner. Battle for second, Jackson Glenn Austin looking underneath Derek Paulson, try to take that second position away.
Going to the inside, looking for a great build of momentum after that good stop. Got him out into the top 5. Now he slots his way into second. You see Lacey with a little bit of issue there. Spinning. Jonathan Parker.
It's both Parkers.
And that brings up the second caution of the day. It's Jonathan Parker, of course, championship leader in the Pits News Truck Series. Our most recent winner as well at Darlington this past Saturday, but tonight's not going to be celebratory. It looks like issues with the other Parker. We're going to put him behind the 8 ball. I see there just synchronized spinning almost. Looks like some contact made. Couldn't tell there if Parker wasn't clear of Parker or if Parker got into Parker. But either way, it sent both of them around. Let's see if we can get a look on board of that number 92 machine.
From my angle, Ben Lacey got the apron just a little bit. That actually checked up Dylan Parker. Dylan Parker, I think, was trying to go to the outside, but Gabe Cazzola was there. And Jonathan Parker had nowhere to go. I don't think he might have been able to see what was going on, because it is really hard to see when you're right behind another stock car. So I think that little bobble that Ben Lacey had just checked up the 2 Parkers, and that's why that accident happened.
You see right there, Lacey on the brakes after that bobble. Then you see there the contact from Jonathan Parker, sending Dylan Parker around. Just an incident of just checking up for that, not having enough time. But it's no shocker there that both made the contact there. So Parker on pit road, and Parker off of pit road. Dalton Kilrow maintains the race lead with Jackson Glenn Austin in second. So as we continue on, we are approaching the completion of lap number 40 almost here. 40 laps into tonight's race. And, you know, we want to talk about rebounding early on here after issues. Olsen is up to 12th. Bridger Olsen has climbed his way to the 12th position as it stands right now. Still got a little bit of ways to go to get to the front, but to be scored 12th right now after that one, it's definitely got to help a little bit after being all the way up as high as 3rd. He's up to 12th now after that about maybe 4 or 5 lap run under green. We're back here, look at some other drivers here in the field. I see that's the 49, but it's currently actually the 4 of Ryan Bogey, driving the Bush Bacon scheme that Kevin Harvey drove, I believe, at the All-Star race this year. That was a partnership with Smithfield and Bush Beer, Stuart Haas Racing. So that's what that number 49/4 car is right there of Bogey. Currently scored 10th right now. Having himself a pretty good run, a solid debut in tonight's race, the championship race, of course. Field goes double wide once again. This time, got a different driver to the outside of Kilrow. Is Jackson Glenn Austin going to have a chance on this restart? Paulson starting 3rd, Lacey 4th, Gabe Cazzola still P5.
And, you know, I think after getting a little bit loose there on the apron, I'm wondering if Ben Lacey has really learned the limits of where he can put his car. Right now, of course, going to restart on the outside, but I think he's going to get down to the inside. He's been showing that he likes running the inside lane rather than being up against the wall, so.
We'll see what he can make work here as this race coming to a close, of course. Pace car is going to make that turn onto pit road, leaving the field back in the hands of Kilrow. He'll stack up in the restart zone, and he will mash the gas pedal. The green flag flies once again here at Chicagoland. Paulson getting the second. How about Gabe Cazzola right there in 4th? Going to be side by side about with Jackson Glenn Austin as they continue to battle through the field. Bridger Olsen now battling for the 9th position with Brian Dees, who is dropping back. They got about 3 wide just up ahead of him for a second. But Olsen now trying to charge back to the front. Currently now 10th, battling with Dees for 9th.
Right now with every driver. Look at McGill rolling that outside, trying to get the outside of Ben Lacey and take 5th place away.
See Alonso Chicano to the outside of Brian Dees. Dees almost got into him there on the exit of 4. Had to get out of it a little bit and give him some room, but see they're still side by side battling for the spot. Look at Dylan Parker up top. Oh my goodness, a run by Parker is going to get him a couple spots. A huge run off of turn 2. It looked like he almost got the wall there, but he still just shot forward. Chicano blocking Dees to the apron. Dees unable to get by him. This is the battle for 10th, or actually 9th, but you got to wonder, when will Dees start to back off a little bit and just play it nice? You see Dylan Parker now coming to his back bumper. Once again, Dees going to have to deal with Dylan Parker.
Oh, a little bit of contact just ahead. Bridger Olson, Ben Lacey. They're running side by side.
Oh, Dylan Parker's going to send it 3 wide to the inside. Chicano side by side with Dees. Parker getting out of it a little bit. Couldn't get the entry he wanted into turns 1 and 2. But you'll see him drift up the track here and try to send it on the outside as we still have a battle raging on here for this 9th position, between Dees, Chicano, and Parker.
So much action going all around the track. And ahead were Ben Lacey and Bridger Olson were side by side. Ben Lacey used Gabe Cazzola as a pick, if you will. Finally, around Bridger Olson. Now Ben Lacey is clear of Cazzola.
Oh, Dalton Kittle's having connection issues here. He's blinking in and out. Not sure what that's about, but gonna have to keep an eye on that one. As Ben Lacey makes the move on 4th. Kittle was all over the place there for a second. But now you see Dees. Cazzola's dropping back to 10th now. Struggling to make his way through the field. Dropping like a rock right now. But you see Dylan Parker going by the outside. Brian Dees was clear. Caden Atkins, Bridger Olson. The battle is heating up for, it looks like, second. It's Austin J. McGill and Derek Paulson. They are going side by side here for second.
This may open up the door for Ben Lacey. Lacey closing in. Lacey's going to look to the outside of Paulson.
See if he can make the outside lane work. We've seen some other drivers do it successfully, like Dylan Parker. We'll see if he can make it work here. Lacey can. He's to the outside of Paulson, trying to make it stick outside. 1 and 2. He's able to get the run down the back, and he will clear for 3rd. Now he's at the sights on Austin J. McGill. See if he can also go for 2nd.
Gonna tuck back into line.
So Olson make a move for 5th now. He gets by the 28 of Jackson Glen Austin. Dees making a move on Atkins to the outside. Got to try to get a 2-for-1 of both Austin and Atkins. If he can do so, he's trying to make the run work. Doesn't get work. He might have got the wall there, trying to get to the outside of Jackson Glen Austin, who closes the door on the 17 machine.
Brian Dees looking to the outside, not close enough to get around Jackson Glen Austin. He's going to try to get to his outside on corner exit. Still don't think it's going to be enough. Will he try crossover? He does look underneath.
Going to the inside of Jackson Glen Austin, see if he can make a move. Meanwhile, up ahead, you see Lacey has gotten to 2nd, gotten by Austin J. McGill. Right on board with the 17 of Brian Dees. The lowest running Championship 4 driver right now currently sits 6th.
Brian Dees has gotten around Jackson Glen Austin as Jackson Glen Austin under fire from Caden Atkins.
And Dylan Parker, who's right there on his back bumper. Paulson battling McGill for 3rd right now, behind Lacey and Kilrow. And I gotta say, this is about that time where Ben Lacey starts to turn up the heat, starts to push a little harder, and starts to get up there to the front. And we're seeing that now. Now he's gonna put some pressure on Dalton Kilrow, getting right up there. I see 3 wide back in the back though. Dylan Parker to the outside of Atkins and Chicano. If there's anyone who's making this race exciting, it's that number 3. He is willing to do anything to get any spot. He is going to the bottom, to the top, around everywhere. And you see Chicano getting tight up the corner, going to have to get out of it, putting him under fire by Caden Atkins. That is for the 9th position.
Bridger Olson has caught up to McGill. Tried to make a move through 1 and 2, wasn't able to. Looking once again underneath McGill, kind of sending it into the corner. Is Olson going to slide up in front of McGill now? Bridger Olson up to P4.
Paulson recovering from that penalty after that first pit stop of the night. And now up to 4th yet again, but now he's got a little more traffic to get by. He's got Paulson and Lacey before he can go after Kilrow. And he's got a good distance between him, about a half a second back of Paulson. And then about another couple tenths behind the Lacey. But you see there, here comes Dees and Glenn Austin catching up to McGill, as well as Dylan Parker, who's right there as well. Ooh, Glenn Austin almost didn't give Dees enough room. They are still battling hard for these positions. I mean, they're fighting like it's the last lap, and the championship on the line for them. Parker's going to send it in there on the bottom. Going to have to get out of it a little bit. It's going to cost him a little bit of time in the corner. Chicano's going to make a move, try to make a move to his outside. You see Dees is shuffled in all of this here. All these aggressive moves everybody's making right here is putting Dees in the hornet's nest.
These guys just won't give up, trying anything they possibly can to gain as much positions. This is a hornet's nest.
This is a dire situation for Brian Dees. He does not need to be in this mess, but he is stuck right now. He has got chaos all around him. He's got Dylan Parker, Alonzo Chicano behind him, Austin J. McGill, Jackson Glenn Austin ahead of him. But now coming to his outside is the 3 of Dylan Parker trying to make this pass again. This is going to be for the 7th position if he can clear.
Parker sends it on the outside. He's going to clear Dees. Now Parker's looking underneath Jackson Glenn Austin.
Dees is in a rough position right now. Oh, spinning ahead! Dylan Parker gets spun to the infield. And for the 2nd time tonight, Dylan Parker is around. And the caution will fly for the 3rd time here at Chicago. Take a look and see what happened there. This is heading into turns 1 and 2. Just behind there is Brian Dees, the championship 4 contender, but look how close this one gets here. McGill gets the wall. Austin turns the 3, and oh, ever so close to hitting that 3 was Brian Dees, but able to miss him and able to continue on here. So Dylan Parker spins, but is able to save it from getting any further damage. And that puts us under our 3rd caution of the day. And as they head down pit road, let's see if we got anything from our pit reporter, Jonathan Canfield. Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you guys. And just talking to drivers before that last caution just came out, Ben Lacey is very happy and having fun. He's hoping for more fun racing, and as we can see, he is currently P2 after that run. Dalton Kilrow reported being a little bit tight in the middle of the run during that first long run that we had. And Brian also was a little bit unhappy. I'm sure he's also unhappy now. But earlier, he was unhappy with how he was being raced from the guys we noted earlier, like Dylan Parker and some of those guys he was racing around. So he expressed some of his displeasure with me and discussed that with me. And then Derek from MFRD also said, as he's been running up front tonight, he's happy with the speed that he's had. And then from next racing, we had Bridger Olson got a penalty earlier on with an EOL, and that was for passing through too many pit boxes. As we just seen Dylan Parker wreck just now, he also explained to me that he was trying really hard to avoid Ben Lacey, and that's what ended up causing his accident earlier. And Luke Nupp also expressed his displeasure with how he was raced in an incident that happened with him earlier.
Alrighty, you got it from Jonathan Canfield. Jonathan, thank you for that report off of pit road. So, looking at how this shakes up here, we had 3 guys take 2 tires. Actually, looks like 4 guys take 2 tires. Derek Paulson, Bridger Olson, Caden Atkins, the top 3 only took 2 tires that stop. Blaine Sparling back in 7th as well, a 2-tire strategy. Everybody else on 4 tires. So Kilrow, Lacey, McGill are 4th, 5th, and 6th. Then 8th on back is Jackson Glenn Austin, Brian Dees, Alonzo Chicano, Jonathan Parker, Christopher Bassinger, Robert Lukens, Gabe Cazola, Zachary Wareham, Ryan Bogey is 16th. Noah Mary is 17th. Dylan Parker, the last car on the lead lap, is 18th. Or actually, Michael Thorpe Jr. with the lucky dog, I should say, got his lap back to 19th. And Caleb Sheets is down 2 laps right now in the 20th position. 20 cars on track, looping up off the track, out of the race with that finish there. And with that, we get ready for another restart with a bit of a different swing here. We got a championship contender making a strategy call here, going with 2 tires.
I'm a little bit surprised to see that, Dawson, out of one of the championship contenders, but he is trying something, and I applaud him for trying something. He was in a hole a little bit and worked his way back up to towards the front, but right now he's going to restart on the outside of the front row in second position.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle here for sure. But if this works, we'll see. Definitely.
I was going to say, Caden Atkins came back down pit road, so that's going to put Dalton Kilrow and Ben Lacey in the second row. Of course, both of those drivers have 4 fresh tires, so Paulson and Olsen, they're at a little bit of a disadvantage taking 2 there.
We'll have to see how it works.
How it pays off. It's definitely an out there strategy call. It's a wild one to see if it pays off. And I noticed too, not only did Atkins pull down pit road, but the 59 of Blaine Sparling went back down pit road as well. So 2 of them are going to drop back further back in the field. Let's see how this works out for them. Olsen and Paulson in the front row, they did not take 4 turns. They looked at 2 tires on that last stop. Gonna try the strategy call pretty early on in this race, see if it works. Maybe even try to see if it works for later.
Paulson got going quick. Olsen struggled to get going. That kind of stacked up Ben Lacey. Dalton Kilrow up to P2 now. See if he's able to run down Paulson pretty quickly.
Definitely working on getting up there quickly as Kilrow going to try to put as much distance between himself and the other contenders as quick as possible. Trying to make the move on Paulson. To the inside he goes. Meanwhile, Lacey's there to the outside. They're going to be side by side. McGill going to block to the bottom. It's Brian Dees behind him. They are battling. Look at this battle here. Everybody tight together. As you see Paulson drift up the track, he's going to lose the lead, losing some more spots. Kilrow out front, Lacey to second, McGill to third. Wicked stack up by Olsen, costing him some time. They are 3 wide. This is not where Olsen wants to be.
Oh, huge shot. Jackson Glenn Austin.
Oh my goodness, they almost went 4 wide. Unbelievable.
Great driving and heads up by everybody not to have an accident happen there. Oh, but 3 wide. Olsen, he was just almost sitting still the way he got past from both the outside and the inside. It was Jackson Glenn Austin and Alonso Chicano. Olsen still falling like a rock here, and you gotta wonder, is that the 2 tires affecting his car right now?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I think we've got the answer to the question. Will 2 tires work after a long run? The answer so far, not at all. Olsen is back to 11th. Paulson back to 14th and losing more spots. And they're still dropping. I mean, they're not done yet. They're still bleeding out. It is not going well for them at all. They're continuing to drop spots. And right now, Olsen under fire from the 12th. Zachary Wareham. This is for the 12th position. Wareham right there. Thorpe right there, as is Bogey and Paulson. Paulson, of course, on the 2-tire stop with Olsen. But up front, Kilrow back to the lead. Lacey right there in second. And Dees is fighting for third with Austin J. McGill.
Dees actually was underneath Ben Lacey and then lost a lot of momentum and lost position to McGill. Now struggling just to stay in 4th position as he has Jonathan Parker in tow. But McGill, he is closing in on Ben Lacey, who's closing in on Dalton Kilrow.
Lacey right there, starting to try to make a push towards Kilrow and put some pressure on him.
You can see the way this field is just split up. It's just all over the place.
Lacey right there closing in. How about Austin J. McGill as well right there in third. Dees is recovered back to fourth. Jonathan Parker, I should say, is fifth after that incident with Dylan Parker earlier on.
Great recovery by Jonathan Parker. But battle for second heating up once again. McGill was there at the back bumper of Lacey, was not able to get a good exit off of 2 down the back straightaway. See here if McGill is able to close back in on Lacey. Go ahead, Dawson.
Get ready to say the update for Bridger Olson. It's a nightmare scenario that strategy call has been. He is back to 15th. He is currently 6 seconds back of the race lead, just dropping still. So not at all the call they wanted. A nightmare scenario, but still plenty of time left in this race. I mean, we're just getting ready to cross the halfway point here soon. So still a lot of racing left to go before it's all said and done. So you see here, Kilrow trying to hold off Lacey, still trying to make the push. He is right there. Last time by, Kilrow was just slightly faster by 1/100th of a second. So it's just a tight battle for this lead. It's give and take between the two of them. They are still right there with each other. I think Jackson Glenn also just got the wall back there in the back in 6th. Stacking up Gabe Cazzola. We see this top 10 just about broken away by itself. 11th place, Zachary Wareham. He is currently about a 1.5 back of 10th place, Caden Atkins. We'll see if he can catch back up and try to reel back in and battle with them as well. With help from, it looks like Caleb Sheets at the 26. Kilrow, Lacey, McGill, still your top 3. Looks like they've kind of sorted things out, gotten back to single file. Nobody's really pushing hard to make moves. Nobody's trying to get close enough. Nobody's close enough to make a move, I should say. They're all just kind of content running where they are right now, not really pushing the battery too hard, as we still haven't reached halfway. 73 laps into this event, Dalton Kilrow continues to lead the field. So as we inch closer to halfway, Dalton Kilrow, dominant car today. Still, though, under fire from Ben Lacey. Looking at your championship 4 drivers. It's a hard-fought battle. Who's going to walk away with the championship here tonight? You're watching the Slide Job Racing League Championship 250, presented by JCTV.
Yeah, you.
Danica, you had a rough run on the last lap there. How do you adjust?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh. You're gonna shine. Oh, Coca-Cola.
What was the question again?
I honestly don't remember.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Don't be conventional.
Kevin Harvick?
Be exceptional. Upgrade to Mobil 1 synthetic motor oil. It helps your engine last over 250,000 miles.
Wow. What's he doing?
Raving.
He's exceptional.
So is Mobil 1. Yes.
Is this good?
I do not know.
Get 250,000 miles of protection. Upgrade to Mobil 1.
Fly the blimp, too much hot air. Race announcer, same thing there. Wouldn't get a word in with you know who. Just get down on the track and do what you do. Slide down in my seat, pull the belts tight.
Denny and Harrison, welcome to the OfferPad family.
Thanks. Yeah, we're excited. You guys ready?
You know we're ready.
You know, at OfferPad, we're fast too. All online, cash offer in 24 hours. But we also like to make sure that each home selling experience feels special, easy, and different. You guys look awesome!
OfferPad really is different.
Yeah, awesome different.
Home selling with OfferPad is awesome different. Request your free cash offer today at OfferPad.com.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti. I'm Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy, customers love the new paint color. It's your beard.
Oh, wow.
And living legend, Jimmy Johnson is on aisle 8.
Dawn, this is all great. Maybe a little much.
I think we're playing it pretty cool here.
I'm Jimmy Johnson. Boom, confetti.
Everyone knows that old NASCAR legend about how drivers, go during a race. So naturally, we were curious.
Kevin, no bathroom break?
Nope, all set.
Hey, Kevin.
What's going on? Excuse me. I mean, those fire suits are made of high-tech fabric.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Looking at the rain. You guys go on, I'll catch up.
Hey, man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh, man.
Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. Well, the race
All right, fine. Are we good? We're good.
Slide Jawb Racing League Championship 250 is presented by Strictly Stats. For all your things you want to know about NASCAR and racing, Strictly Stats got you covered. Welcome you back here to Chicagoland, where we are underway, just about halfway here, coming up on it. Dalton Kilroe continues to lead the field. Ben Lacey, however, is in second, but slowly dropping back. Brian Dees up to third. And your other championship contender, Bridger Olson, back in 15th. He is about 15 seconds back of the lead. Currently, the two-tire strategy, Josh, just isn't working out.
Yeah, I didn't expect that it really would work out here. This track is an older surface. It just kind of likes to heat the tires a little bit more. Oh, goodness, there was just contact I noticed. Gabe Cazzola and Austin J. McGill. McGill shot up the track, kept it off the wall there. But he's going to lose a couple of positions going from 8th to 10th.
Cazzola got hot in the corner there. Yeah, right underneath McGill. Got into him, sent him to the track, but McGill able to recover, hold on to 10th. We see Christopher Bassinger up to 9th. He's making moves to the field now. Seeing if he can get something done here. So far to 9th, he's really not had an eventful race. As high as 6th so far in this race, but right now he's back to square one in 9th place where he started. So, got to see if he can try to improve on that by the end of this one. Still got plenty of ways to go. We're just over halfway now of this race, so we're not yet out of the woods yet for some of these drivers.
Well, let's check back in with Jonathan Canfield. What do you have for us on these drivers?
Yeah, guys, so coming out of the GGA camp, I got a report from Michael Thorpe saying he is hoping for one more caution, and he thinks he'll be right back in contention for this race win here. Also, while I was over there talking to those guys, Christopher Bassinger actually let me know that he is very happy with his run right now and is looking to improve. As you guys had mentioned, he was running in the 9th position, and he's looking fast, so he's very happy with his run so far. Jumping over to the MFRD camp, Derek and Dalton are still very happy with their cars, but Brian, in quotation, said he is very much on edge currently with how he was raced earlier, and he's still very much on edge. Coming out of Next Racing, where we find Bridger Olson, one of your championship contenders here tonight. He and Noah Maori decided to not take tires on that stop, and they are both very unhappy. Noah Maori even quoting that if he had a crew chief, he would park the car on the track right now and fight the crew chief. That's all we got right now for you guys. I will let you know when we get more.
And thank you for that update from Jonathan Canfield.
Yeah, hearing that now, it wasn't a 4-tire stop. It was a no-tire stop. Man, that does not feel like a call you would make at all. I mean, to try to go no tires, it's just absurd for me to hear something like that, especially when you're running up in the front anyways. For someone like Bridger Olson, you're running up front, you know, take your 4 tires and just kind of push back through it. I mean, that right there could very well cost him a championship. Currently scored 15th. He is 15 seconds back of the race lead. As he currently enters turns 1 and 2, the field is coming through 3 and 4. So, I mean, he's really put himself at a disadvantage doing that move. That really has not been a good call.
Yeah, I think Bridger Olson, he needs a caution to come out and, you know, some more luck on his side to get back into contention. These laps are winding down that it's going to be so hard that even if we get a caution to work his way up through the field to get back out towards the front.
Well, don't look now. Jonathan Parker's up to 4th right now, and he's currently battling Brian Dees for this 3rd spot.
Yeah, and not too far ahead of them is Lacey and Kilrow. Lacey has ran down Kilrow and is trying to battle for the race lead, but Parker, he may be in a position where he can pass all 3 of these guys within the next few laps, since he is looking at the inside of Brian Dees right now. Oh, he gets loose.
Trying to make sure he doesn't push up too hard into him. It's going to cost him a little bit of time there to the rest of the field, to the front 2, but he will make the move for 3rd. And I was going to say, we heard it in that report by Canfield, you know, Dees is really worried about the way he's been raced. I mean, you can even see it on the car right there, those bullet holes. I mean, he might as well have those from those other drivers compared to it being just part of the paint scheme. He has been in a world of terror and hurt as this race has gone on. But right now, Lacey is trying to make some moves, trying to hunt down that battle for the lead. Here he comes, trying to make a move to the outside of Dalton Kilrow.
Kilrow doing everything he can to fight off Lacey. Right now, the gap is a couple of car lengths. Lacey slightly closing in on the back straightaway.
Lacey trying the bottom as Kilrow rolls the top. This time by, going to see a difference in lane choice, and we'll see how it pays off for the 2. The difference that time, I believe it's going to be Kilrow faster that time.
Not by much. And Parker, he is the fastest car on track right now. He is very quickly closing in on Lacey and Kilrow.
And Parker right there, you know, we saw him back and forth in the field, up to 3rd now, and looking to contend for the race lead. He's going to battle with Lacey here. I have to get by Lacey, but he has been putting on the fastest laps on track by far. 2/10 faster than the race leader that time. So just unreal run here. I mean, it's almost inhuman. It's like, you know, it's just wild to watch him race sometimes. Some of the things he's able to do and pull off, it's just unbelievable. You see now he goes to the inside lane, going to try to make a move on Ben Lacey for that 2nd position and try to upset this championship battle as we got our 4 championship drivers all battling for this championship. Right now, it's Kilrow up front, Lacey in second, Dees is in fourth, and then Bridger Olsen all the way back in 15th after that no tire call. So we'll have to see how it pans out. But you see Parker to the inside, tried for it for a second on Lacey. Gonna have to try it again here, swinging for it in turns 3 and 4 to the inside he goes. Can he make it stick for second? Not quite yet. Actually, no, he's coming to pit road. Jackson Glenn Austin will follow. Looks like some pit stops going to be underway for some of these guys. And we've seen this out of Jonathan Parker a lot in the Pit News Truck Series. He's going to try to undercut. He's going to try to pit first and see if he can't cycle out front the leader.
Brian Dees coming down pit road, so the first of our Championship 4 contenders making his way down for service. And Bridger Olsen staying out. Ben Lacey and Dalton Kilrow, they are practically nose to tail. And with that 17, Brian Dees down pit road, I'm wondering how long until Kilrow and Lacey make their way down to take their tires and fuel.
They won't be long.
It appears Brian Dees, he is off and away.
Looks like Ryan Bogey on pit road, Gabe Gazzola on pit road as well. Bit of a longer stop for that 5 machine. Might have had an issue coming to pit road. Noah Mary's on pit road as well now this time by. We'll see how he fares this time on pit road. You see Kilrow right there on the apron trying to hold his ground and keep Lacey behind him if he can. But it's going to be a battle here for sure. Let's see if he can hold him off. Bridger Olsen to pit road now this time. See if either of our 2 leaders elect to come this time by. As a matter of fact, they stay out. They have not come to pit road yet. They're going to stretch it a little bit longer. You can see right here, they've been out to 41 laps. Zachary Wareham on pit road. Kay Nacking's on pit road as well. Christopher Bassinger's on pit road. Robert Lukens comes down as well. Michael Thorpe Jr. on pit road as well. So we might be hitting the window. And you see there, Kilrow looked like he got a little loose, bobbled a little bit off corner. See if he recovers. He will. He'll hold off. Lacey still holding on to this race lead for now, but it looks like they're both going to be low. At least maybe Lacey is. Indeed, Ben Lacey goes to pit road, sliding it onto pit road, that should say. What a close call that was for Lacey coming onto pit road.
I think he made speed.
Yeah, looked close there for sure, but you see Dalton Kilrow stayed out an extra lap, so he's going to come down pit road this next time by. I believe, at least, he'll be coming down next time by. Indeed, he does. Here comes the race leader. The dominant car of the night, Dalton Kilrow, is going to bring it to pit road to the attention of his crew to get what could be the second to last, or if not the last stop of this race done.
Ben Lacey with a long stop. I think he did actually have a penalty. It took a long time until those right sides went up in the air to take the right sides. A total of 26.9 seconds. Not a good stop there for Ben Lacey.
Top 3, the remaining top 3 that have stayed out so far, McGill, Wareham, and Chicano coming to pit road. Looks like Blaine Sparling is currently the last car that might have to pit here this time. He'll stay out and go for another lap. It looks like he might stay out maybe a couple more laps longer after that pit stop he had under that caution. And right now, as it stands, it should leave Jonathan Parker cycling out as the race leader. Brian Dees is currently ahead of Kilrow. For how much longer, we'll have to see. Right now, Blaine Sparling, your current race leader. Jackson Glenn Austin is third. They'll cycle back to second when Jonathan Parker takes the race lead once that 59 pulls it down pit road.
That issue for Ben Lacey has put him in the clutches of Bridger Olson. Olson and Lacey have been battling, and Lacey now trying to pull away. A couple of car lengths ahead of Olson.
As they stand right now, Dees is second. 2 seconds back. Race leader Jonathan Parker. He is the highest running championship driver. Dalton Kilrow is 5th. He's got a bit of a gap between himself and Dees, about 4 seconds. And all the way back is Ben Lacey and Bridger Olson, 13th and 14th. They are right there side by side battling. So right now, Brian Dees looks to be in the catbird seat. He's got a 2-second gap between himself and race leader Jonathan Parker, something that's come to be expected here on JCTV. When we see Jonathan Parker out on track, is to see him up front, see him out there leading laps. But of course, I don't believe that's going to be our last pit stop of this race. With just over 60 laps to go this time by, going to be 60 to go at the line. They're going to have to pit again, for sure. It's just going to be a matter of who decides to pull the trigger early on and go for it to see and really determine who's going to get out of here with the win. But Jonathan Parker leading the field. Brian Dees is second right now. You saw him back there in the background. He's not that far off of our race leader. Going to try to make this run him down and go for it. He's bringing along Jackson Glenn Austin, who pit that same lap as the race leaders. You saw Austin got the wall that time, but right now Brian Dees second right now. He's running faster laps than Parker, but I'm wondering if that's Parker just saving his stuff, something he's been so good at.
Yeah, going back to Jonathan Parker and saving his stuff, you were actually not in the booth this past Saturday as you were racing with Darlington, a very tough track. Jonathan Parker led all but, I believe, 4 laps en route to his 4th win in the Snooze Truck Series this past Saturday. Parker, he knows his way around a racetrack, and he has just under a 2-second gap on Brian Dees. Jackson Glenn Austin, another driver that is not in the mix. He is running P3, trying to get up there with Brian Dees. Take second away. Jackson Glenn Austin, he's been doing really good. And actually, something kind of funny. I was talking with Jackson earlier this week, and he was talking about Slide Jawb Racing League, and I think he was trying to recruit me to come around here. I don't think he realized I was the broadcaster. So, you know, Jackson, he definitely likes racing here. And I think he's going to be staying here for quite a while after this season ends. Already looking forward to next season.
Indeed, he's shown a very promising run these past few races he's been running here in the Sled Jawb Racing League, how he's done. And right now, sitting third, you know, very good run for that 28 machine. He's been just phenomenal. So very excited to see what he can do for Season 10.
And I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere that these guys are not using the next-gen cars next season. I know they'd like to switch things up. They did have a poll, and their poll was still ongoing. But Jackson was asking what vehicle, or if they were going to stick with the next-gen. And I read that they are not. They're going to be switching but I'm not really sure what they're going to be switching to. Either way, I'm excited to see what they go to next season. I believe last season it was the Xfinity cars, D-Class cars. This season, of course, using the next-gen cars, which this has been some phenomenal racing itself.
Yeah, and it's a fun thing to have a little bit of change there, you know, to be able to see this difference of the vehicles that we'll see the drivers running in is really gonna, you know, allow for some different drivers to maybe shine here as this goes on, as the series goes on and keeps on chugging. And so we saw there, Dees is still trying to close the gap in second. Had a little bit of connection issue. He has blinked in and out a couple times here recently. So we'll have to see if that plays effect any bit later on here in this race.
And the good news for Dees is, despite him running in second place, you know, like we mentioned with Jonathan Parker out front, Parker is not a championship contender. So Dees doesn't have to go in and chase down Parker. Dees can stay right where he's at and be content. As well as if Jackson Glenn Austin catches him and passes him. But I say that, and Jackson Glenn Austin actually under fire from Dalton Kilrow. Did Glenn Austin just have an issue? Because he was comfortably ahead of Kilrow, and it just seemed like very quickly he just lost a ton of time.
Yeah, about a second slower than Kilrow that time. So Kilrow, he's either putting down some massive laps, or Jackson Glenn Austin found himself in the wall. He's been able to recover a little bit, but still a slow lap that time compared to Kilrow. But Kilrow is on a mission right now, flying through the field. Ben Lacey is trying to make a march as well. He's currently 13 seconds back of the race lead. You see in this battle in 11th right now. Going to try to do everything he can to get through the field. And then Bridger Olson back in 12th or 14th. We saw there Bogey and Lukens almost got into it there. A little bit of contact just about. Very well could have led to that caution that Olson and Lacey need for this to go their way tonight. You see here the battle for the championship. Dees and Kilrow, teammates. The gloves have come off. They are fighting for this position.
Kilrow is a man on a mission right now. And I look back at the replay, and Glenn Austin did not get into the wall or anything. Kilrow, he just turned on the heat and started going. And it's showing here as he has gone around Brian Dees. Now Kilrow, championship leader.
He's been holding off, just ready to go.
And that's allowed him to get by Dees and take over the championship lead as he currently sits second.
And you know, looking at when they last pit, that is a difference of 5 laps on their tires. So Kilrow, actually, now that I'm really looking at that, I think it's not that Kilrow turned on the afterburners. He just has 5-lap fresher tires, and that is, I think, the cause and effect here that has allowed Kilrow to get out ahead of Brian Dees.
He's currently hunting down race leader Jonathan Parker at a very high rate of speed, trying to go for the doubleheader, not just winning the championship, winning the race as well, taking that with him. But he's currently closing the gap big time. He's about less than a second behind as he's closing in on this race lead. Dalton Kilrow continuing to run the fastest laps on track. You see Brian Dees trying to pick up the pace a little bit more back in the background as well, trying to get back up there to try to battle with Kilrow for this championship and not let it just walk away from him, but he's still got a little bit of a gap there. He's got about a second to make up on Dalton Kilrow. So the battle for the lead is heating up, and we're seeing things get tense here as we're closing in on the end of Season 9 of the Slide Jawb Racing League. The battle heating up, intense as ever. Dalton Kilroe trying to go for the race lead on Jonathan Parker. The championship battle is starting to slip away for Lacey and Olsen. Can they get a late race caution, or are their dreams up in smoke? We'll take you side by side, but after that, we are going to go ad-free to the end of this race here for the Slide Jawb Racing League 250, presented by JCTV.
Hot chicken wings here, fresh off the grill.
Hey, Denny, pass me one of those Cokes.
Pass? One of those? Yeah, like you let me pass last week? Instead ran me in the wall? No. How about not?
Made you flinch.
I made you flinch.
You both flinched.
How'd they get here? How should I know? T-Rex and Truex? I don't think so. I may not know how to travel back in time, but my crew knows what to do. When I want to fly, crank around the wedge in the left rear. You're only turning 9,000, need another gear. Never know how. Never know how.
50 laps to go, and here comes Casey Kane in for a pit. Wow, that was fast. Boy, I want to see that again in slow motion, Doug. Okay, that was something I did not see the first time, Pete. Boy, you catch a lot more detail when you slow things down. I guess so. Those look good. Yeah. Oh, Casey's always got time for arm wrestling. Amazing. Yes, she is, Pete. Boy, you blink an eye and you miss all that. Impressive. Casey Kane's always impressive.
Dad, where'd you get that?
Oh, you won't believe what just happened.
Don't tell me you got the last Diet Dew.
Yeah.
I love the taste of Diet Dew. What do you want for it? Deal.
Diet Mountain Dew. Yeah, it tastes that good.
Hey, hotshot. Meter's running.
This season, Brad Keselowski knows there's nothing harder than winning. Not taking the high line at Bristol. Not doing a post-race press conference with a bunch of psychiatrists.
Brad, tell me a little bit about your mother.
Not eating a huge turkey dinner, then trying to stay awake during a foreign film. Winning is even harder than getting pepper sprayed. Then being able to unlock a magic eye poster.
It's a shark.
Yep. Brad Keselowski understands that if winning were easy, losers would do it.
As a Formula One world champion, I strive to win everything.
And as a 3-time NASCAR champ, I never give up.
I should warn you, I am a triathlete.
Let's do this. Mobil One's advanced technology gives our engines the speed they need to win.
Right.
Works on my bike legs, too. Jensen, 4 letters, 3-time NASCAR champ. That oil made my legs real fast. Somebody get this guy a hanky?
Hey, track bar's broke and you keep jumping out of gear. What do you want to do?
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, Coca-Cola.
Should probably go.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Saw it all in non-stop. The battle for the race lead, for the championship lead, is heating up. Dalton Kilroe trying to get by Jonathan Parker for this race win. Can't quite do it. It's still Parker out front. Dalton Kilroe still leading the championship standings as they run. It's getting hectic. It's getting crazy. Josh, we saw that all happen. What was your thoughts going through there when they went side by side?
I'll tell you what, Jonathan Parker, he does not want to lose this race. He's not a championship driver. He's just racing for the race win, and I'm a little bit surprised to see that he wasn't allowing Kilrow to just kind of go by, but at the same time, he's a racer. He does want to go and try to get that race win. So, I don't know. I thought it was aggressive, but they kept it clean. And they're still first and second is Parker and Kilrow.
As you were talking there, Ben Lacey is pulled onto pit road. He is going to make his final stop. But we have word from Jonathan Canfield about why that last stop was so slow, Jonathan.
Yes, under that last pit stop, Ben Lacey, you know, these drivers, as much as they probably wish they could all have crew chiefs, this is virtual, and they sometimes have to be their own crew chief. And coming in for that last stop, Ben Lacey forgets to check his tires. So when he pulls into pit road, there's no tires being put on his car. What's he decide to do? He sits there, checks his tires, and then gets the tires put on. So that's why his stop was so long, guys.
But very much a good call to stay and wait to put him on instead of trying to cycle back around, because that'd be more time wasted trying to get back around the track to get back on pit road. So a heads-up decision to get the tires checked and not really put him behind the 8-ball too much. But he was the first on pit road. Now you see Jonathan Parker pulling down pit road, giving up the race lead to Dalton Kilrow. He heads for pit road to see about making his final stop of tonight's race. We are coming up on about 30 laps remaining in this one, and Dalton Kilrow now takes back the race lead. Brian Dees is second. He's about 2.7 seconds back of our race leader. And the battle for the championship, of course, between the two of them, as it stands right now, of course, Olsen and Lacey have taken themselves out with issues and decisions that did not benefit them. I believe Olsen's coming to pit road this time.
Oh, trouble! Ryan Bogey around, and Olsen got into Bogey.
Bogey was coming to pit road. Oh, and he spun it right in front of Olsen. And like that, bad night goes to worse for the number 02 of Bridger Olsen. Just not at all what he wanted to have happen.
When it rains, it pours, I think is the saying, Dawson. And Bridger Olsen, he has to feel like it is absolutely storming right now over his 02 machine.
Lap down back to 15th, all but out of contention. I believe Brian Dees has dropped a spot to Alonso Chicano. Looks like a battle for the position, not a pit stop there. So Dees losing a little bit of that speed there. So Chicano moves to second now. How about Alonso Chicano?
Alonso Chicano, I'm not surprised to see him up front. He is a very good racer. I know he races pretty well in the trucks. I know that the Cup car really hasn't suited him as well as the trucks have, but he is still, regardless, good in the Cup cars. You're seeing him here. P2, you drivers have come down pit road, but Alonso Chicano, I think he'll continue to be up front until this race is over.
Peyton Atkins making a move to the inside of Brian Dees, and look who's behind them, Jonathan Parker. Currently the first car lap down who pit. He's going to send it 3 wide to the inside of Atkins and Dees, putting Dees in the outside lane. He'll get by both of them, and he'll make the swing heading towards Alonso Chicano now, seeing if he can't get by them as well.
Chicano will just pull up and allow Parker to get on by.
So Kilrow staying out. Looks like Brian Dees is on pit road for his final stop tonight.
Christopher Bassinger and Zachary Wareham also down pit road. But Dalton Kilrow, he's going to stay out at least one more circuit around Chicagoland Speedway.
say we saw that on that first set of stops there. He stayed out pretty long, stretched it as long as he could, and then came down pit road. It's about 40-something laps. And that's what it looks like we're going to see out of this 41 machine of Dalton Kilrow. Looks like Chicano and Atkins are going to pull it down pit road this time. Thorpe and Lukens follow behind as well. And I believe Derek Paulson's going to stay out this time. So we've got 3 cars that have yet to pit. It's Kilrow, McGill, and Paulson. Top 3 as they run right now. There is the 92. That is Jonathan Parker. Currently scored now in the 4th position right behind the race leader of Dalton Kilrow. 7 laps on those tires there. You see Kilrow pull up and let him go by. Just really got to shake things up when Kilrow comes down pit road. He's going to have to be flawless. Cannot have a mistake. He pretty much holds on to this championship. He is the one that is in control. Paulson on pit road.
I am surprised to see Kilrow still out there running.
Well, we saw it happen. Like I said, we saw it in the earlier running to the stage, and I got to wonder, though, you know, you're not going to have as many laps to go this time around. It's going to be about 25-ish laps to go at the line this time. You see now he'll pull off and come to pit road. Got to have a good stop here. Cannot make a mistake. He'll get down to pit road speed and roll, so that'll hand the lead over to Austin J. McGill for now. If he elects to stay out, which he will. But the big thing about this is for Kilrow, I mean, you know, we saw him really turn up the heat in the later goings of that run. And, you know, now it's, you know, he's got 25, 24 laps pretty much to do it again. He's going to have a lot less time than he had before to really turn the heat up and try to get back through it. But right now on pit road, getting service done to his car, going to have to get a good stop and get out of here if he wants to hold on to this championship. Right now, Ben Lacey is 4th, make it 5th. And now he will pass. So right now, Ben Lacey holds the championship lead. Brian Dees right behind him. And Kilrow coming off of pit road. Going to have to be careful getting off to not make a mistake and get off clean, which he will. He has got 4 lap fresher tires than Brian Dees, 12 laps fresher than Ben Lacey. But it's all going to come down to who can have the better run to the end here. Jonathan Parker leading the field here, at least will be when Austin J. McGill pits. He'll be ahead by about 5 seconds on 2nd place, Jackson Glenn Austin. And then you see Ben Lacey, Brian Dees, Dalton Kilrow, all 3 right here in this group together. This is going to be a dogfight for the championship. As Austin J. McGill makes his way to pit road, Jonathan Parker will resume the race lead.
It just took 22 laps to go, Dawson. I'm telling you what, my heart is starting to pump. A lot faster here, trying to figure out what is the best strategy. These laps are winding down very quickly now. Season is almost over and a championship on the line. Brian Dees, he has caught up to Ben Lacey. And he's going to look on the apron down the front straightaway. They're going to be side by side going into turn 1. Lacey trying to drive it hard into the corner, but the tire difference is there. Dees easily drives around Lacey, and now Brian Dees, championship leader.
Next lap, and 20 laps to go here in the season finale. The Slide Job Racing League Championship 250. When they cross the stripe, Brian Dees takes over the championship lead. You see all 4 drivers here that are in the championship 4 as they continue their hunt to get a championship. All 4 looking for their first title. Brian Dees in his 2nd attempt. Everybody else is in their 1st attempt in this championship 4 scenario. But Brian Dees takes over the top spot of the championship 4. But don't sleep on Dalton Kilrow. He's about a 1.5 seconds behind Ben Lacey right now. And that'll put about another 1.5 seconds between he and Brian Dees as this winds down. So it'll be a close one to get to the finish here.
It will be close, but at this point, you saw it earlier when Kilrow was trying to get around Parker. Kilrow struggled because Parker wanted to keep that race lead. What is Brian Dees going to do if Kilrow gets up there? I mean, you heard it earlier. Within a certain amount of laps left, all gloves are off. All bets are off. You're not a teammate anymore. This is for a championship. And I think it's going to be a dogfight between the two.
I think the writing on the wall for Ben Lacey. Dominant season, but the mistake on pit road, just too much to overcome without a late caution here. He drops to third of the championship for drivers. Bridger Olsen currently scored 8th right now, but no signs of making improvements now. Dalton Kilrow, however, is the fastest car on track the past couple laps, way faster than Brian Dees' last time by. Just 2 seconds is the gap between Kilrow and Dees.
Dees has to be careful now. He is to the inside of Gabe Cazzola, and he has Jackson Glenn Austin right ahead of him. Dees has gotten by Cazzola. Cazzola 4 laps down. Not a contention, but see what Dees is going to do. He's going to go to the outside of Glenn Austin.
Once again, Kilrow half a second faster that time by.
Brian Dees, he is going to clear Glenn Austin. So there's 2 cars between Dees and Kilrow for this championship lead. 15 laps to go here.
Kilrow is much faster. That's the thing. This 41 car is on rails right now. He is flying up on the back of the 17 of Brian Dees. He is currently only less than a second behind him. And here you see he's in the picture now. With 15 laps to go, Dalton Kilrow is on the hunt. Dees needs these slower cars to play a factor and not hold up Kilrow. If they can do so, that might buy Dees enough time to try to let the tires equalize out. But right now, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Kilrow's going to be to the inside of Gabe Cazzola. Up ahead of him is Jackson Glenn Austin, the 3rd place car. Can he get by him as well?
Oh, Kilrow was not able to get a good exit off the corner, but now he is just flying down the back straightaway.
Sends it in to 3 and 4. He's going to clear. Now no traffic between the top 2 in the championship battle. $13 laps to go. How hard does Dees fight?
Brian Dees, he's going to fight pretty hard here, but look at Kilrow with the momentum. Going to pull down to the inside of Dees.
Dees just doesn't have anything for him. Kilrow to the inside will shoot by on the inside line and take back the championship lead. All Dees can do is try to stay with him.
I'm going to be honest, that was a lot quicker than I expected it to be.
I mentioned it last year, the only driver of the championship for this year that was in a position to win a championship was Brian Dees. It slipped through his fingers, finished second, and right now as it stands, sitting second to Dalton Kilrow.
And Kilrow, he's going to look to get around Noah Mayeri, not for position. That's going to put 1 car between himself and race leader Jonathan Parker. Coming up 10 laps to go. Kilrow might be able to get back up there with Parker and try to challenge for the race lead once again.
Yeah, but you got to wonder, is he going to want to do that? He can, obviously. There's nothing saying he can't, but with this championship steadily in hand right now, running faster laps than his teammate Brian Dees, does he really want to push that hard and risk wrecking and possibly not going on to win the championship?
I personally think if you're Dalton Kilrow, you don't pressure, Parker, if you do get up there.
We'll have to see. 9 laps remain here in the Slide Job Racing League Season 9. Dalton Kilrow handily holds on to that championship lead, and he is cutting the gap on the race lead, cutting down Jonathan Parker through 1 and 2.
Let's see here if our pit reporter, Jonathan Canfield, has anything else for us.
Indeed I do, guys. Just quick update for all 4 of our championship drivers. Ben Lacey and Bridger Olson pretty much just both trying to hang on, and I think both of them saying they are hoping for a caution just to give them a chance to be in it. When talking to the MFRD teammates that we just seen battling a couple minutes ago, they, quote, told me gloves are off and it's time to race for a championship.
There it is. You see Kilrow pushing hard. He's going to try to roll up the back bumper of Jonathan Parker. Of course, he was easily able to get around Brian Dees, his teammate. There is a 3-second gap between those two now. But here comes Kilrow looking for that race lead, Dawson.
Kilrow wants to go for the sweep, wants to win the race and the championship both. He has been dominant all night tonight, and now closing up on Jonathan Parker, going to look to see if he can seal it up with a win as well. He'll dive to the inside on the apron. 6 laps to go here in the season.
I'm wondering if Kilrow tries a different approach and getting around Parker after what happened last time. We'll see here. He's right there on the back bumper.
Kilrow right there on the back bumper of Parker. Parker's going to go and hold that middle line. That's the same line that Kilrow's been running. Kilrow trying to hook the bottom. Kilrow's going to try to make the run on the bottom work. He is there on the back bumper of Jonathan Parker. Coming to the outside this time by 5 laps to go. Can Kilrow sweep him, win both the race and the championship? He goes to the outside of Parker.
He's there. He's on the right rear of Parker. Not able to make it stick.
Did Parker get loose there?
He might have. They're going to be side by side going into 3.
Parker's trying to make it stick on the inside lane. Kilrow trying to make a roll on the outside as they come across the stripe. 4 laps to go. Still battling hard for the race lead. It's going to be side by side, neck and neck at the line. That time given to Kilrow, I believe, as they continue on side by side into turn 1.
It was actually Jonathan Parker barely leading that lap.
And Kilrow will clear. Parker's giving it everything he's got, doing everything he can to try to get around the race leader, now Dalton Kilrow. 3 laps remain here. Parker still right there on his back bumper, still able to make a move if he can. Setting up to be a good finish here in Chicago. You see there, Parker going to try to roll a little bit higher. Kilrow, excuse me, is going to go and hook the bottom again. And this time by, Parker is just pushing for everything he's got with 2 laps to go here. And a caution flies! It's Dylan Parker! Parker is around and stopped on the track. And just like that, the championship was all but sealed for Kilrow. And we are heading to overtime.
I don't know what to say.
Oh, McGill got in the back of the 3 and around he went. And just like that, what was all but over, it's going to overtime here in the Slide Job Racing League Championship. We're going to see if we can go on board with this 3 car. Just like that, you know, round he goes, no chance of saving it there, and to go on board with the 21 of Austin J. McGill. I'll tell you what I noticed, Josh, what I noticed hearing that audio. I don't know if Parker got loose or Parker was trying to keep it from spinning out underneath him, but he was off the throttle a lot more than McGill was. McGill was a lot more on the throttle than he was, but very well could have just been Parker was slipping there in the corner and just trying to get it down on older tires. But that's not at all what Kilrow wanted to see with that caution flying. So I don't see anybody really taking a gamble here and making the stop. It looks like Bridger Olson did, actually. He is 11th place right now on fresh tires. So the night's not over yet. He's still got a chance. 11th place as it stands on fresher tires than the rest of the field. Can he make it work?
I'll tell you what, I'm sure he was very frustrated earlier with that no tire call. But right now, he probably has to feel like this is a blessing in disguise. It's going to be a very short shootout. 2 laps when they take the green flag. I've seen a lot of crazy things happen in racing. We're not guaranteed this will be the last yellow. I'm going to watch Bridger Olson here. He is not out of it yet.
And on the opposite side, you got to wonder what Dalton Kilrow is thinking after that one. Very well could have been his championship up in smoke. I mean, we're gonna have to see how this restart plays out and how the finish of this race plays out. But right now, Kilrow has 2 spots over Dees. He's currently scored 4th. Ben Lacey has currently scored 7th. And Bridger Olson will be 11th, but he will be on fresh tires, so it very well could play a factor here for this one today. Looks like we've lost connection to Ben Lacey or to Bridger Olson's onboard feed, so we do not have Olson available in case he does pull off the win. Dalton Kilrow. See him right here. He's getting ready to go. 1 to green. See Kilrow. See Dees. There's Ben Lacey right there as well. All 3 ready to go for this championship. Can Kilrow hold on and win it? Or will Lacey, Dees, or Olson steal the show? Overtime for the championship here in Chicago. Josh?
Oh, this is gonna be intense.
Kilrow, Parker, the front row. Into the Geico restart zone. The green flag flies. We are underway. 2 laps and a term of the winner here and the champion for Season 9. And a great jump by Kilrow. Oh, Dees in the wall up top. Brian Dees gets the wall. Kilrow out front. He's got a little bit of a gap here. He's building up on Parker. Bridger Olson sends it 4 wide. Bridger Olson pushing for everything he's got. White flag is going to come out. This is the final lap here in Chicago. The final lap of Season 9. Spinning in the back, Caden Atkins. Bridger Olson into the picture, but is he too far back? Kilrow leading the way through 3 and 4 for the final time. Parker's going to try to make the move. Olson's going to send it in deep there on the bottom. He'll get to second in the points, but it will not matter. Dalton Kilrow is going to be your Season 9 Slide Job Racing League champion. Kilrow gets it done. He will win the championship here tonight. He's able to hold on. Bridger Olson, a valiant effort. He got to third there at the end of that one. But a big finish and a big win for Dalton Kilrow. He'll win the final race, and he'll score the championship. Jonathan Parker holds on for second. Bridger Olson, as was mentioned, is third. Jackson Glenn Austin takes it home in fourth. Derek Paulson, our pole sitter, rounding out the top 5. So as we see that number 41 machine, gonna burn it down here now. Celebrating a hard-fought championship. What a drive, what a race, and he's able to hold it off and win it in overtime.
That was an incredible drive for Dalton Kilrow. And I think you know, for Bridger Olson, he was just a couple of positions higher from where he restarted. Things may look very different. Dalton Kilrow, though, he had an incredible drive. Dominated this race. Kilrow, he definitely deserves this championship after the race he had tonight.
Looking through the final results, the rest of the field. As we mentioned, Derek Paulson ran out the top 5. Brian Dees came home 6th, 3rd in the championship this season. He was denied for a second time in this one here. Alonzo Chicano brings it home 7th. Zachary Wareham 8th. Michael Thorpe Jr. brought it home 9th. And Ben Lacey rounds out the top 10. Robert Lukens 11th. Caden Atkins 12th after the wreck on the last lap. Christopher Bassinger was involved in that as well. He finishes 13th. Noah Mary in 14th in his 150th start, a lap down. Blaine Sparling 15th. Caleb Sheets 16th. Gabe Cazzola 17th. Austin J. McGill was 18th. Dylan Parker in 19th. Ryan Bogey 20th. And Luke Knupp rounds out the field in the race that he sponsored. He finishes last. So there you see those drivers that were a part of your championship 4, but only one of them was able to walk away a champion, that being the number 41 of Dalton Kilrow. So as he continues his Polish victory lap, let's say we get a word in from our 4th place finisher in the championship. Josh, I believe you've got a hold of Ben Lacey.
Hey Ben, tough finish, tough race. Heard you had some issues earlier on pit stop, and just really put you behind from there. So, you know, just kind of explain to us what happened from perspective. From what it sounds like, your tires weren't checked.
Yeah, that's basically all it was. Came in for the pit stop and didn't have the tires checked, so mistakes were made. And that's what happens when you make mistakes. You kind of fall out of the competition. So you know, that's what it was. And, you know, I don't know if I would have much for Dalton anyway. That guy was just dominating everything. So, congrats to him for winning, and he earned it. He earned it hard tonight. You know, it wasn't an easy one for him by any means. A lot of people were, you know, pushing it for him. So yeah, he ran a great race, and congrats to Dalton for that.
Well, this season it has been a great season overall for you. Of course, unfortunately, not capping it off with the championship. But looking back through the season, is there anything that you can say has really been the highlight of the season that you had?
You know, road courses. I'd say those have been kind of a highlight. That was kind of probably, to be honest with you, unexpected. I don't really consider myself a road racer, so to come away with a couple of wins there in the season with that is actually kind of surprising to me. And then usually mile and a half are kind of where I'm better at. You know, it's tracks like Vegas and those type of things, but I didn't really seem to win there. Kind of won up more at the short tracks. I think Richmond and Phoenix, than the road courses. So it's kind of the unusual wins for me. So, but hey, you know, you get W's when you can get them, and it was a fun season overall. You know, it had its ups and downs for sure, and you know, we all race each other pretty hard, and we all rip on each other pretty hard. But at the end of the day, we get to go out and have some fun with each other. So it's a good league. It's fun to be a part of.
All right, and before I let you go, who do you have to think helps you get it done in the 7 machine?
Yeah, you know, Filming the Wild. Check them out, youtube.com/filmingthewild. Give them a shout out. Appreciate what you guys do in the broadcast. You know, both you, Dawson, Josh. I think Justin was helping out tonight too, or Jonathan, sorry. And yeah, you know, the league, the admins, everybody, the sponsors, AMSOIL, GGA, everybody part of it. It's great fun, man.
All right. 4th place finish in the championship standings. 10th place finish tonight. Ben Lacey. And we head to Dawson, who has, I believe it's going to be Brian Dees.
I got you. How's it going? Yeah, I tried a little something. I knew I was a little bit off sequence with Dalton. The second to last stop, he pitted a little bit after me, so I knew he had the fresher tires and he was going to come after me. So I tried taking 2 tires, going with a shorter pit stop, hoping that might give me a big enough lead that I might be able to hold him off for those last whatever it was, 25, 26 laps, something like that. Didn't quite work out. I think he pitted a little bit earlier that time, and I didn't get as much of an advantage with the fresh tires. So, hats off to him. He ran a great race. He definitely deserved it.
Yep, 2nd last season, 3rd this season. Definitely, though, looking to build off
Yeah,
some momentum.
I said I wanted to change by 1 position. Other way though, I went the wrong way.
Yeah, not the way we wanted it to go, but with that last caution coming out, did that maybe was pitting an option for you on that last caution, or were you maybe out of tires, or was there just no decision to give up the track position to try to pit?
I had one because I took 2 tires at the last stop. I had a set of left sides left, but I mean, that wasn't going to do anything at that point. That was just going to put me in the back of the pack. So I was kind of maybe hoping it would be a little bit of a crapshoot at the end there. Maybe some wrecks. Maybe I could sneak through like I did last week. But again, I'm happy for Dalton. If it wasn't me, I'm glad he was able to grab it. So at least championships coming back to the shop at MFRD.
Well, at the end of this season, I mean, definitely a season to remember. 10 top fives is going to make it just short of 11, but 16 top 10 finishes and a win. Walking away from this season, away from this race. So, what are your takeaways heading into season 10?
Just keep trying to get better. You know, like you said, last season was my first season coming back to this league. Ran it, I believe, season 3 and 4. I ran with these guys. Took a couple seasons away. Came back last season, was able to make the championship 4. Made it again this week, or this season rather. So definitely pretty pumped about that. Definitely like the way the direction the league is going as well. So all good things, all looking up. So we'll be back at it next season. You know, same thing, fighting hard, and now we got to make up 2 positions. We just got to go the right direction this time.
Alrighty, well, third in the championship this year, finishing off the season just shy of a top 5 finish, 6th place for Brian Dees. Congrats on a great season, and we look forward to seeing you next year.
Yep, sounds good. I appreciate it. Just got to give a quick shout out and a big thank you to Michael Falk, though, sponsor for the team. Wouldn't be here without him doing all these great paint schemes. Thanks to all the admins this season. They kind of did a lot and kind of went through a lot. You know, straighten it out. But again, I like the direction it's heading. I think good things are coming next season. And thanks again to you guys up in the booth at JCTV. I'm pretty pumped with the in-car cams. I'm pretty pumped to go back and watch this broadcast.
Well, alrighty, we'll let you go here. Third place finish in the championship standings this year. Definitely not a season to forget for Brian Dees.
Thanks, guys.
And with that, we'll see if Josh has got a hold of our second place finisher, runner-up in the championship, Bridger Olson.
Yeah, indeed, I am here with Bridger Olson. Bridger, when we started off at Daytona, my broadcast partner was somebody that hasn't been here since Joseph Lester, and he told me that he recognized your name and you were going to be a guy that was definitely in contention throughout this whole season, and that made me aware of your name. You did not have a very good night tonight, but the final caution came out, and you put on fresh tires and made it all the way to third. Probably one more lap and you would have had it, but how was this race overall for you from the start to the finish?
Well, I choked qualifying, so that wasn't a good start, but I felt like I had a pretty good race pace. If it just went green at the if it went green at the right time, I felt like I was one of the best out there. But it was just an unfortunate series of cautions, and that made me go with the wrong strategy.
Well, you definitely had something there at the end. Were you hoping for, another lap, or maybe the caution come out just a little bit sooner to get those 4 fresh tires on?
Yeah, if it had come out a lap sooner, then I don't have a doubt in my mind that I would have won it. But when I saw it was going to be 2 to go, I figured I wasn't going to get up there because I'm just not that aggressive, and I don't know. I ended up being in a good spot at the end and just couldn't do anything with it.
Well, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank helps get it done behind the O2 machine?
Yeah, and thank you to Noah Mayuri for putting this on every week. Thank you to you guys for putting on a great broadcast all season. Thank you to Pete Performance Motorsports, and thank you to Caden Atkins for paying my entry fee at the beginning of the season.
All right, that was Bridger Olson, P2 in the championship standings, P3 in this race. And I believe we are now going to Dawson, who has the man of the hour.
Indeed we do. He didn't just go for the championship. He went for the race win, and he walks away with both. Dalton Kilroe is your Season 9 Slide Job Racing League champion. First off, Dalton, congrats on the victory.
Thank you very much on that.
About maybe 20 laps into the race, it became pretty clear that you were going to be the car to beat. That it was going to be you on top for the majority of the race, and that there was, no chance of getting by you. What was that run like there? That first stint, where everybody was kind of tight packed together. Really no give or take between anybody.
Yeah, that first stint was it was interesting, especially because I was racing amongst my teammates for most of that. I know there was a little bit of contact between me and them a couple times. Luckily that didn't really affect anything, but no, I wouldn't necessarily say that I was actually best car tonight. I know Ben Lacey has some really good speed and had an issue on pit road, and that kind of took him out of contention. And I know Bridger Olson, he's normally pretty quick too, and they played the strategy call of saving the tires for that late caution, which, I mean, if it had gone green, wouldn't have finished second, wherever he did to finish second in the championship. But those things kind of took the pressure off a little bit, and then having the fresher tires like towards the end was definitely helpful. I said at the start of the race, I knew the clean air would be really important. I just didn't think it'd be that important. But it worked out in my favor, obviously, and I'm just glad I could close that one out.
Yeah, indeed, closing it out, you did. You were a rocket ship in the later stages, of course, pitting a little bit later than everybody else. What really drove that call to pit a little bit later in the cycle compared to everybody else?
Well, I knew the tire fall off was pretty big, because we were running like second and a half, almost 2 seconds off of what fresh tires could do when we got at the end of the run. And I mean, the tires still felt okay to me. I mean, I know it was still a little tight, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it was at the start of the race. And I mean, honestly, I just didn't want to get caught a lap down because I knew somebody else would be staying out longer, and I knew if I had, pit before the fuel was in like the last 5 laps or whatever, that would leave as small of a window as possible to where I could, if a caution did come out after I pit, where I would get, back on the lead lap as soon as possible. I didn't expect 5-lap fresher tires those couple runs to be that much better. But tonight I surprised myself with a lot of things. So I will obviously take it, and just looking forward to next season.
Yep, heading into next season with a championship, but the floor is yours. Not only the race win, the championship win. It's been a phenomenal season leading up into this. This is your 4th win of the season, 10th top 5, 15th top 10. What do you got to say to that? Who got it done for you here this entire season?
Well, it's obvious. MF Racing Designs on Facebook, bringing me in with MFRD start of the year. We have a really good group going, not only for one of us to be able to, well, 2 of us to be fighting for a championship to win it, for the drivers, and then win it for the team championship as well. You know, this team is awesome. I love being a part of it, and I'm glad that we can have these moments where we race for titles against each other. Gotta thank Daddy-O's Barbershop. You guys for doing the broadcast. I know you guys put in a lot of work behind the scenes just for this race alone, and I know how hard that can be. So appreciate all you guys do. Thanks for coming on for the season for us. Love going back and watching everything. You guys make it awesome. Rest of the admins at Slide Jawb for putting together this season and working hard for next season. Make sure it'll be as good as possible. And everybody else in Slide Jawb for coming out and making the race tonight interesting.
Alrighty, it was never a doubt though in his mind. Get it home, brought home the hardware, a race win, a championship win. Dalton Kilroe is now your reigning Slide Jawb Racing League champion. Congrats again, Dalton.
Thank you.
And with that, Josh, that brings us to the end of another season of racing here on JCTV. This time, it's the Slide Jawb Racing League. The 9th season now comes to a close. What were your thoughts on that race? That was a heck of a race.
Well, before I get there, I just have to say, the season has been incredible. I think the Slide Jawb Racing League is, I think, really the first time that I have ventured off or out to something different than what I've been comfortable with. Before anything I've broadcasted, I've been familiar with it in some sort of way. So this was the first time I came into a series not knowing anything. And I've had a lot of fun. This has by far exceeded my expectations on what I thought that this series would be like. I have been super impressed. These guys are awesome. This race was the definition of that as well. These guys, they put on a dogfight. It wasn't just the championship 4 either. It was the entire field. There was so much going on all race long that it was so hard for you and I to call something because there was just so much going on. You were calling one thing, I was calling another.
Yeah.
I think, I'm blown away with how talented these guys are, and I think I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what these guys have in store for season 10 and beyond.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting to see what we do next season. Of course, I believe word on the street is next season will be Xfinity cars, so a change in vehicle is going to really throw a swing at things into how things are going to play out. It should be fun. It should be exciting. And I'm very excited to see how this goes next season. Switching over to the Xfinity cars now compared to running the Cup this season. But yeah, like you said, overall, great race. Phenomenal. A lot of words could describe how that race played out. And how everything wound up being at the finish there. But it was just a fun race all the way to the end. Jonathan, what were your thoughts on that race?
Absolutely enjoyed every minute of that race. I love being in these races as much as I love calling them. I don't even think I mentioned it before. Some folks who are watching the broadcast might recognize my voice from last season. I helped call a couple races last season, and these guys just know how to put on a show. But just going into our champion for this year, there was an Instagram post put out. If any of y'all that are watching have not seen the post, I don't know the exact name of the Instagram, but I'm sure you can just look up Slide Jawb Racing League on Instagram and be able to find where their Instagram is. Dalton Kilroe comes out this season, right, after having surgery on I believe it was a brain tumor, or a tumor in his brain that could have been cancerous. It was starting to grow. And takes time off last season, runs himself out of Rookie of the Year. To coming this year, I think with what he did this season, not only does he get Rookie of the Year, not only does he win the race, he comes out and wins the championship and does it all in what you would probably say is his recovery season after having such a strenuous surgery, possibly being deaf in one ear and having to learn how to balance again. So just a great story there. If y'all have the time, just go check it out on Slide Job's Instagram. It's all there. And congrats to him. Congrats to all these drivers for putting up a great season. And congrats to you guys for coming on this season and calling great, great races.
And we thank you for your service here tonight on Pit Road, calling all the action and everything we saw there and heard over the radio. So with that, that brings us to the end of the season. Season 9 of the Slide Jawb Racing League has come to a close. Dalton Kilroe walks away with a championship in tow and another race win, adding to his 3 on the season. That'll put him at 4 wins, tying him with Ben Lacey for the most this season. So we want to thank you for tuning in for tonight's coverage of the Luke Knupp is a GOAT Slide Jawb Racing League Championship 250. Still cannot get over that name. It was a great race, very fun, and we crowned a champion tonight in Dalton Kilroe. So with that, that will do it for tonight's coverage. That'll do it for tonight's coverage of the Slide Jawb Racing League and the season's coverage of the Slide Jawb Racing League. We hope to see you back soon for Season 10 when it kicks off and gets underway. And with that, the only race we have scheduled is for JCTV. I believe Friday has an NAOR race. Josh?
Yeah, that is correct. NAOR is going to be visiting, I believe it is Charlotte for their double points event. The first one of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, indeed, the first one. The second one, of course, coming in February at Michigan. They have two double points events, and they have a couple double header events as well. So that is Friday night here on JCTV, and as well, of course, Saturday night is going to be the big one. It is the In the Pits News Truck Series Talladega doubleheader, where we're going to try something different with the broadcast. Josh, we are looking at doing 2 different streams. One will be a point of view of our camera, a race of us racing, and the other will be the race that we broadcast for. That is the current plan, and I think that'll be fun.
I think it would be fun as well, a little bit different, a little bit unique with that doubleheader. I know both of us want to race Talladega. Both of us are racers in that series as well, and you and I have split time in racing and broadcasting. Me doing a little bit more racing than the broadcasting side. So with Talladega coming in a doubleheader, it's up the door for you to do one and me to do one. And I think that's a very unique experience, and definitely looking forward to that one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But again, that'll do it for us here tonight for the Slide Jawb Racing League. Congrats again to Dalton Kilroe, your Season 9 champion. He gets it with a walk-off win here at Chicago. So congrats to Dalton Kilroe and Michael Falk of MF Racing Designs, the Drivers and Team Championships. Thank you for tuning in and watching. For Josh Coppernoll, Jonathan Canfield, I'm Dawson Allen signing off, saying so long and have a great rest of your night.